Hello and welcome back to another World of Warcraft video. As many of you are probably aware, patch 6.2 offers nowhere near enough content to bring us through to the release of Legion, so I'd imagine there's currently a lot of people that are pretty bored when they log in. Most of the time I'd tell people just to unsub until the next expansion, because there's no point paying a sub fee when there's nothing for you to do, but some people really don't like unsubbing due to guild commitments and various other reasons. So today we're going to talk about the top 10 things you can do before World of Warcraft Legion. Number 1. Level your ults for artifact weapons. In WoW Legion, each spec is going to get their own artifact weapon. These will essentially be very powerful weapons, some of which have a lot of lore significance. For example, Retribution Paladins are getting the Ashbringer, Enhancement Shaman are getting the Doombringer, and Death Knights will make weapons from the Shards of Frostmourne. These weapons will be with you and upgraded throughout the expansion via their own talent system. I've spent the last few weeks of my WoW game time leveling a character of each class to 100, so that when Legion comes out I can go out and get these weapons when I'm not doing raiding or PvP. The artifact weapons do excite me because I like to crack on with solo content outside of endgame progression. Despite a lot of people disliking the idea of the artifact system for various lore reasons, I don't mind it. If each spec gets their own unique quest chain to obtain these weapons, then that's going to add quite a lot of replayability and additional content that you can get on with on your ults. Number 2. Catch up on the lore. As with every new expansion comes a bunch of new lore and story. It's always a good idea to catch up on what's going on with the main story in WoW, as it makes playing the game a lot more immersive, and you tend to care about what's going on more. The basic story for WoW Legion following on from Warlords of Draenor is as follows. Alternate universe Gul'dan comes to our universe to free Illidan from the prison that Maiev Shadowsong locked him in during the Burning Crusade. The Burning Legion are invading Azeroth via a portal at the Tomb of Sargeras, which leads the Wardens to release Illidan's captured demon hunters to help out and fight against the Legion. The Legion invasion will be the largest in the history of Warcraft, and we'll need to use every resource we have to fight them back and close the portal to save Azeroth. There's a lot more lore, most of which I'm unclear on, so go visit Noble87's channel for more information, as he makes some of the best WoW lore videos on YouTube. Number 3. Find a raiding guild. The best time to find yourself a raiding guild for Legion is actually before the expansion's released. You'll find that a lot of players go on a long break until the next expansion, leaving many guilds in need of players to clear their weekly raids. This is your chance to step in and secure yourself a raid spot, as well as gain a bit of experience with raiding. If you step in and prove yourself as a good reliable player all the way up to the launch of Legion, odds are you'll be prioritised for a raid spot over someone that's been on a long break and returning to the game. What would you do as a guild master? Save a raid spot for someone that may or may not return to the game, knowing that they'll probably be out of practice when they return, or move a new guy into the main raid team who's filled that guy's spot and has proven to be a good reliable player. I'd choose the guy filling in every time. The only instance where this wouldn't be true is if it were a friends and family guild. A lot of players make the mistake of looking for a guild when the new expansion drops, but the truth is pretty much all of the good guilds will already have their shit together ready for launch, so it'll be hard to get a spot in a good guild for a while. Bear in mind that as of the release of this video, it's going to be a long wait until the expansion's released, so there's no rush. Number 4. Level your professions. Professions aren't as helpful in combat as they used to be, but they're usually useful to have capped before a new expansion to make money or craft better gear. Each expansion brings new herbs, minerals and crafting materials, each of which are worth a lot of gold at launch. If you want to make bank at the beginning of the X-Pack, then take advantage of the crazy launch prices. I personally only level my professions last if there's absolutely nothing left that I have to do. Engineering is a profession I'd always recommend leveling because you can get the nitro boots, which are fun and sometimes useful in PvE and PvP, and you've also got the goblin glider, which is also a lot of fun in PvP too. If you're a mount whore, you'll also find that certain professions can reward you with mounts, my personal favourite being the Mechengineer's chopper from engineering. If you want to figure out which professions are going to be most useful in Legion, then wait until the beta drops and check the rewards. There's usually a few cool new things added. Number 5. Farm for some cool transmogs. Transmogging is one of my favourite things to do in World of Warcraft, as it gives me something to do every reset. For some people, transmog is the only reason they play the game. In Legion, Blizzard have said they're going to be making some improvements to the transmog system so it's similar to Diablo, where once you've gained a piece of gear, its appearance is saved and usable for transmog without actually needing to have the item in your banks or void storage. This should save a lot of space and allow storage for a lot more appearances, hopefully allowing people to be much more creative with their mogs. Other than looking cool, everyone knows that having a good transmog gives you a hidden buff. called Swag 420 No Scopes, which increases your damage and chances to find ERP by 50%.
That's right, get no scopes! Get no scopes!
Number 6, give roleplaying a try. Now, I've personally never understood roleplaying in WoW, but that's probably because I wouldn't have the first clue where to start, and I'd screw up the lore. However, it's something that I'm planning on really giving a fair try soon. People that roleplay in WoW seem to have fun with the game all year round, regardless of the amount of content there is at endgame, and that's something that really appeals to me. Roleplaying is a highly social thing to do in WoW, where you make a backstory for your character and play the game whilst developing that story based on your experiences or people you've met. For an example, a roleplayer will always ask someone their name before addressing them by their character's name in case that person wants to be addressed by as something else. There's also a few other things you can and can't do, such as only using certain mounts, not enchanting weapons unless you're a mage, and RP walking a lot. If you're interested in giving roleplay a try, then Doran's Movies has some really good guides that will teach you the basics of RP for each race. Number 7, do some WoW challenges. We all know that over the years, leveling in WoW has become ridiculously easy to the point where it feels like there's no challenge. Well, something you can do to make leveling a little bit more challenging is head over to wowchallenges.com and try the Iron Man challenge. There's a bunch of rules in place that will make your leveling experience much harder and almost give you that vanilla leveling feel, although you still level kinda fast. There's also the Bloodthirsty challenge and the Pacifist challenge, which are similar but a little different. If none of them tickle your pickle, then try getting some of the harder achievements and titles, such as Insane in the Membrane, the Bloodsail title, or Lore Master. Number 8, make a Twink. Twinks are characters leveled to a specific level in order for you to tackle old content or to play in a certain level bracket of PvP. To make a PvP Twink, you'd level a class to 19, 29, 39 and so on all the way until 99. Then lock your XP by talking to an NPC in your faction's capital city. After that, you obtain the best gear possible for your level and enchant it the best you can, and boom, you're gonna wreck pretty much everyone you come across in Battlegrounds that haven't done the same thing. To make a PvE Twink, you'd level a character to 60, 70 or 80, then take off any heirlooms you might have off and gear up properly. Then you join a 60, 70 or 80 legacy raiding guild and clear the content. A lot of these guilds will start at 60, clear the vanilla stuff, then get to 70, clear the BC raids, then do the same for Wrath of the Lich King. This is something I want to do because it looks like a lot of fun and it will allow me to experience the raids I never got to see as current content. Number 9, clean up your characters. The final thing I'm going to do before finishing with WoD before Legion is sort through all my characters, clean my banks out from old expansion stuff, sort out my abilities and keybinds for each spec, and log them out with some gold, food, drink and some elixirs ready for the launch of Legion. I'm not sure if it's OCD, but if one of my characters are unorganised and not set up properly, then I'm less likely to play them. Number 10, try out some other games and MMOs. This for me is the main thing I'm going to be doing myself before WoW Legion. As hyped as I was for the announcement of Legion, I remember being just as hyped when I saw the trailer for Warlords, and all that hype turned into a massive disappointment for me a few months after it was launched. From now until the launch of Legion, there's honestly no better time to try out some other MMOs and games just in case Legion turns into Warlords 2.0. Hopefully it'll be awesome, but there's always that chance it won't live up to the hype. I know there's a lot of people out there that play WoW as their only game and are desperate for WoW to return to its glory days, but even as someone that's a huge fan of World of Warcraft and Blizzard games in general, I'm kinda scared to put too much faith in Blizzard now due to how many mistakes they've made in the past. Sadly for me, I can't see WoW ever going back to its glory days because since partnering with Activision, the game has slowly started to go downhill. And in a time where companies are milking their players for everything they can get with microtransactions, I feel like it's best to be cautiously optimistic and play other games as a backup plan, rather than risking being let down by Blizzard again in the new expansion. There's some great MMOs out there now, some even arguably as good as World of Warcraft, such as Final Fantasy A Realm Reborn, Elder Scrolls Online, Guild Wars 2, WildStar and Terra. Overall, it's fine to be excited for Legion, but don't get your hopes up too high just in case it's another flop. Until then, try some other games if you're bored of Warlords. There's some surprisingly fun MMOs out there. So that's it for this video, guys. If there's anything else you'd recommend doing before Legion, then leave a comment below. I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, please give it a like as it always helps. You take it easy and I'll see you again really soon.